Where should we start today? You know what? Let's start going back to Friday and the good old-fashioned media dump. Speaking of dumps, with the John Herdman getting it's come to an end. John has got a letter of admonishment for his role in the systemic spying culture in Canadian soccer. I think it's hilarious. Now, first of all, and please disagree with me, I'm fine with this. This is probably fair. The guy lost his job. He's now being chastised publicly with a letter of admonishment. For me, it's like, okay, let's say goodbye to this now. Good night, sweet dreams. Brush it under the carpet. Move on. Am I of similar mind to you, or do you, like many people, demand that John Herdman not only gets banned for life, but gets hung, drawn, and quartered, and his entrails dragged through the streets of every Canadian city?
That's a long journey.
Very Braveheartish. It's like you want the disembowelment in the town square?
Yeah, no, that's what I don't. That's what people want.
No, I think you do. I think you're putting that into people's minds.
I do, but not John necessarily. There's people I would love to see disemboweled in the town square, and we can go through a list if you like, but not John Herdman. Is this fine? Are you happy with this? Are you fine, Craig, that this is now done and dusted?
Yeah. I think everybody is, aren't they? Are you guys happy with the way it's finished?
What are all the specifics? He got admonished. He can't or can coach. What's the deal with the?
Coach.
He can coach anywhere. Can he coach again in Canada?
There's no ban, as far as I know.
Okay. And where did Bev Priestman stand? What was her?
Well, she got a 1-year ban. She got fired, and that's where it's interesting. She's in the past insinuated potential legal action here. Now she got fired and a 1-year ban, right? John Herdman got, well, he mutually parted ways with Toronto FC.
Is that because of the red-handed?
Yes. Well, and don't forget he got a letter of admonishment. Okay? Don't forget that. It's a very serious letter. You don't want to get a letter of admonishment.
I just, in my brain, I was sitting there going, is it like the same punishment, but is it also because one was within the circle, the other one was outside of the circle, even though on a level of guilt or whatever, they're both in the same boat, but one was actually caught. Is that the difference?
Yes.
Okay.
It was a FIFA fine too, wasn't it on Bev?
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't Canada Soccer. They fired her, but it was a FIFA ban. Whereas John
so she could coach club if she wanted to.
Oh no, she's done for a year.
Oh, okay.
It's a FIFA, it embodies the entire game, right? So her punishment was more severe, but like you said, she was caught red-handed. But I wonder if that gives her a window to pursue legal action, saying, well, Christ's sakes, how come he didn't get the same ban? I don't know.
I think she'd be better off just going away quietly and picking up her career after the year ban.
Yeah, and she will, and she should be able to. Actually, John Herdman, I understand he's applying for jobs in MLS, and so he should. But I don't know. I just saw the whole term admonishment. It's not a word you hear very often these days. But it
doesn't really hold that much strength, does it?
I mean, I haven't seen it. Do you think John even read the letter?
I read his response.
Yeah.
It was his response was it kind of like I learned my lesson a little bit? Is that what it felt like? That right?
Yeah, he wasn't. I think he was smart in that he didn't go on the offensive.
Right.
He's happy for this to go away now. Jimmy, what do you think?
I'm over it, to be honest with you. I think everybody is. So what, he gets reprimanded and that's it, it's finished. Okay, so move on now.
Yeah.
Move on. It's boring, isn't it?
It is
boring.
It is really, really boring now.
And again, it's kind of
give him his warning and off you go. See you later.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's highlighted in many ways the naivety of the sport in this country, the level of freak outedness over this. Where I'm not saying that drone. Listen, let's not get into this too much, but drone spying may not be commonplace, but spying and trying to do what you can to procure data on the opponents is not like it's just from here. It's global. Everyone does it to a certain degree.
I'd be quite interested, though, Sharms, in the relationship between Bev Priestman and John Herdman at this point. That would be interesting to me. Whether or not it's boring or not, just on a pure personal level.
Mm.
Do you think
because they were so close. I would imagine.
Little sister, he called her.
Didn't do a lot of talking during all this, I would imagine.
They're probably talking now after he got his letter and be like, oh, okay, I can talk.
We're friends again.
Maybe she sent him a letter of admonishment.
What happens to people like Joey Lombardi and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, exactly. They're the ones that I kind of really feel for, because Bev and John will land in their feet. They'll get jobs. I hope Johnny Lombardi will. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy, would you hire him? You'd hire him if you got a head coaching job. I'm not saying you're going to go out and hire him if you get a head coach, but you wouldn't not hire him because of this, would you?
No, I wouldn't hire him. No.
Oh, you wouldn't hire him?
No. I'd have my own guy that can do drones.
And you know who that person is, right? Already, you got him lined up.
And he could camouflage himself like a stand or a chair, so he's not caught hiding behind a bush.
My brother Mike, he has one. He got stuck in a tree like 4 times now, so he's learning.
It's not very good, that's all.
Yeah, he's trying to figure it out.
Jimmy's got his staff all lined up, eh? When he gets that job, he's got it all lined up already. Who's your staff, Jimmy? Can you tell us?
Yeah, I'll take my brother Michael. I'll probably bring my other brother, and then I bring my cousin in.
In what roles are these?
And then I bring one of my uncles. I haven't figured out the rules yet.
Okay.
They're not really good at much, so.
Groundskeeper? Can they work a lawnmower?
Yeah, well, funny enough, my brother Michael, he's in irrigation, so the pitch would be immaculate.
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess that's enough of that little news dump on Friday night. Another, not a news dump per se, but the Phonsie story continued. Actually, he put out a post today, saying, thanks for all the support and the love, and he'll come back stronger. The kind of thing that everyone does when they get injured. No mention of the shitstorm over the weekend. I guess since we last spoke, guys, Bayern Munich come out very pointed. Again, threatening the potential of legal action if they find out that it was misdealt with. Is this just bluster, Craig, from Bayern? They're kind of renowned for this. They'll do this, and they should be pissed off. Is it just bluster, or is it something for Canada so going to be very concerned about?
I don't know, actually. Not sure what Bayern's angle is on this and what they're trying to achieve by it, but with Fonzie's agent and him coming out with that statement and all the love and thank you very much and all that, it's like, any chance? He's still hanging on it. It's all becoming about him.
Yeah. Well, I mean, wasn't it? It's all to do with the mismanagement when he left, is it not? About how he didn't really have a proper kind of exit medical walking away from the national team. They should have cleared him, and then he was on a flight for 12 hours, and they're saying that's the mismanagement with the torn ACL.
Well, and forcing him to play. The agent basically said he was forced to play or put under pressure to play, and he hasn't said anything about that, Alphonso.
Yeah, but in Bayern's statement, it had nothing to do about him being forced to play, was it? I thought it was just about the mismanagement of him being injured and them not doing the proper procedures before he left.
That was the main part, I think. They did mention, though, that he had suffered was it a muscle fatigue injury before he still played. So they mentioned that perhaps he shouldn't have played. But you're right, it's more about the post management, it seems. But tell me, how does this work? If this ACLs can be hard to diagnose, you need a scan. You can't a doctor can't feel around the knee often and find a torn ACL. You need that scan, right? Even if they had found, are you better to keep him in Canada or in the States and have the scan then send him back? Or often the clubs want the player back as quickly as possible, don't they? So they can take care of him themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would have thought that they would be pissed off if he didn't go back right away. I would just assume that the medical staff, Greg Bay, the management, would have done all the right things as far as when they sent him back. Of course, it's going to blow up a little bit on the flight as far as swelling goes and whatnot, but I don't know. I don't know what they want. If he stayed in Los Angeles for another week or something like that, I don't think they'd have been happy.
Yeah. Unless, Canada Soccer, would they have given Phonsie a scan had he stayed? Probably. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We need more information. It's all very well throwing out opinion here, right? And a lot of people are, but we just don't know the facts of the situation.
Well, you know some stuff. You do. Listen.
Munich aren't known for keeping themselves. If they were really upset and concerned about this, they'd come out and hammer Canada. And maybe they will, but at this point they haven't. And that's what we can read on.
And maybe they will.
Holy
I think they did.
Wow. I'm a soothsayer.
You are. Got a crystal ball there up your bum, Sharms.
Yeah.
That's what it is it?
Yeah.
That explains the blockage.
The colonoscopy doesn't show it, but it is a crystal ball.
Sir, when did you stuff that crystal ball up your backside? No, I don't think I said anything that most people didn't know. This is what bothered me. Listen, they can now appeal to FIFA for compensation. Maybe this is what it's about, putting the pressure there.
Mm-hmm.
Players get hurt all the time on international duty, and you don't sue the federation. Had he torn his ACL in training and they made him play, okay, maybe that's a different scenario.
Mm-hmm.
But he had it sounds like a soft muscle tweak. It's no more than a tweak. It sounds like, right? Otherwise, he wouldn't have played because he couldn't have played. And then whether that was connected to the injury, we'll never know. No one can prove that. You can say that a hamstring injury can destabilize a knee in certain motions. You can say that, but I can't imagine there'd be any case here.
No. Maybe it's about compensation for Bayern, which they will get, but maybe they're trying to force their hand a little bit, FIFA, and get more money.
Admonishment.
Yeah, admonishment. Maybe they do a letter of admonishment to Canada Soccer. Would they take that? We'll reach out to Peter Grusso and say, would you accept a letter of admonishment rather than a full-on lawsuit here? I think he probably would.
Mm.
Yeah, I think they'll take it.
And I know I'm not saying anything that people like that would be a hot take, but so far Alphonso, he just came out with a post-operation photo right on Insta this morning.
Yeah,
with him in his walking cast or whatever. It's probably one of the ones I remember. They have ice in them and all that to keep your leg from swelling up post-operation. Other than what his agent has talked about, he hasn't talked about the injury at all. And he just said, thanks for the support. So it seems like he's staying out of the fray that he kind of started.
Or his agent started.
Whomever started, but his team. How about we say his team?
I would like the captain to kind of take control of this message, quite honestly. And whether it's fair or not, that's kind of irrelevant at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But as a captain, I don't know, Craig, should he just he could make this go away very quickly.
Exactly. Is he a man or a mouse?
Well, it's valid, right? His agent that kind of caused a shitstorm. The injury aside, that happens. So we said before, and the whole Bayern Munich being pissed off. Okay, that's out of his control. But the whole agent thing, it is lurking, despite the second message he posted saying him and Jesse Marsh are best mates once again.
Mm-hmm.
It's still going to just percolate either until Phonsie speaks about it or until he gets back in the squad. And you can just imagine the shitstorm that week with the press conferences and the availabilities. You can make it
I
go
wonder
away
what the
now.
players
Quite.
are thinking about all this.
You tell me, you're an ex-player. How would you think about it?
Well, if I was in the dressing room and I knew all the nuances of it, then I would have an opinion on it. But it just seems to me that this has turned into the Alphonso show and quite selfish, really. But
Is that harsh, though, given that the guy's now, having to endure a 6 to 8 month recovery? He's done his ACL. Is that harsh?
what, they were not cutting him any slack because he's basically not addressed his agent? No. Injuries happen all the time.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
No, I agree with Craig. I agree with Craig. Look, I mean, again, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know his conversations with Jesse, with the agents. I mean, all we're privy to is what's been posted on social media. So, again, we got to sit and wait until we find out more information. What's going to happen with this situation? Which sucks in a way, doesn't it? Just when you think things are going well and Canada soccer's moving in the right direction again, something else comes up. Never fails, does it?
Well, Drone Gate's gone away, we think, right? So now it's Negate.
Negate.
Let's negate Negate. Can we please? I'm sick of it already.
You know that old saying, this is why we can't have nice things? This is why we can't have nice things.
That's exactly why.
Can I ask a question? First time caller. As somebody who's not as into I don't know nearly as much as, say, Jimmy or Wonger about, say, football in other countries, but it would occur to me that there's probably in other soccer heavy nations that there's probably things like this that happen all the time, but because there's so much football happening, people are more concerned about the football than the scandal. Am I right or am I wrong? If Canada was playing every week and there was, so like a ton of soccer in the media, would we really be focused on this as much as we are, or any of these sort of scandal things? Or is it just because there's so little soccer happening that we're focusing on that? Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just curious. Is that something?
I think if say it was England, say it was Harry Kane, and in the same scenario, and Bayern went after England, that would be all over the media. And there'd be some really pointed commentary. There'd be people digging deep, tapping phones, finding all sorts. And Harry Kane would have to come out at some point and address it. He'd have to.
When was the big last, if you guys remember, the big last injury in international play that was somewhat like this, that parallels this?
Well, Upamecano, Bayern Munich last week. It wasn't the severity of Phonsie. Who else? Okay. So Joe Gomez for Liverpool, England he was out for months after, I think it's October or November. He did, I forget what it was now. Was it hammy? Forget now what it was on England duty. It happens. But listen, if Fonsie's the best player, right? Arguably the best player, if not the best, the second best player on that team. He's the face, he's captain. So I think it just, balloons.
So it's the Harry Kane of it all.
Yeah.
Our team seems to play better without him.
You're going down that road
the third
again.
time he said that.
I know. Well, but you're not suggesting that they're better off without Alphonso Davies, surely?
No, but for whatever reasons, the team's always seems to play better without him.
Well, here's the thing also. He wasn't going to play for Canada anyway this summer, I don't think. Club World Cup. He's missing that, which is brutal for Bayern Munich. But that aside, from a Canadian perspective, trying to find any kind of silver lining, and there isn't one because he's done his ACL. But after the summer windows, September will be the next window, this friendlies. Perhaps he's back by then. Maybe. At the very least, he'll be fresh the run into the World Cup. And that's again, it's no silver lining, but I'm trying to find something here from a Canadian perspective.
Yeah, at least it didn't happen 2 months before the World Cup.
Right. It can always be worse, is what I'm saying. Right? It can always be worse.
Oh,
Jesus,
fuck.
I'm digging here. I'm
Always
digging
be
here,
worse.
aren't I? I know.
He hasn't had too many things go wrong in his career until, now with injuries or form, really. He's
had a great
been
season.
pretty smooth riding for him.
Well, I mean, he had myocarditis, right? Was out for a couple months then.
I'm going to give him a little bit of slack just because I want to see how it works out. And this guy just traveled all over the world, flew LA to Germany, straight into surgery. His agent may or may not have gone rogue. We don't know that yet. He's probably dealing with, is this my career? Because we all know how serious ACL injuries can be on someone who utilizes speed like he does. So I'm just going to say, look, and I don't know if this is my first take on an Alphonso, but I'm going to give him a little slack and just say, hey, he's working through it. How about that? Is that a fair assessment from Wonger?
Always fair, Wonger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well done.
I think it's
Wonger.
very fair. I think you kind of nailed it there until we know more information.
Other than the
Jesus
fact
Christ.
that if you put water on his agent, just douse that flame completely, that would have been helpful.
Yeah, but you got to remember, coming out of I was on Percocet for 6 amazing days after my
6 years.
knee
Are you going to
surgery.
say that? 6 years. I couldn't quit it.
6 beautiful days of Percocet, sitting there watching movies on, a bottle of Tylenol 3s and a bottle of Percocet that they were handing out like I was eating like jelly beans. So this is what he's going through. Like that picture of him this morning, it's probably he's high as a kite. He's sitting there going, "Hey, that's the best day ever." Like, of course, so this whole media attention that he's getting, it could just be a fog, the fog of injury, and he doesn't even pay attention to it right now. So I'm giving him that. Let's see how he's talking in a month. And he could go, "Hey, that was all ridiculous. I don't know what happened, but I apologize for my part, or not my part, my agents." He could say anything you want and maybe make everyone feel better about this situation. So
Well, maybe he's doing it all in-house. Maybe he's doing it in-house. Maybe he's calling Jesse Marsh and doing the way they should have been dealt with from the beginning, away from the media, perhaps. But sadly, it's out there now. The old genie's out of the bottle, so to speak. But yes, the voice of reason, Wonger.
It always amazes me when I'm the voice of reason.
Well, this is the first time it's happened. So
Don't get used to it.
Consider that
Charles.
comment. Going to send you a letter of admonishment for
Out of the mouths of babes, right?
Yes. All right. So some football. Good news from Canadians' perspective this weekend. Some great goals. Ishmael Kone's goal for Rennes. Absolute beauty, Craig. And this kid can find some confidence. I mean, that's massive for Canada. What a great goal.
Oh, yeah. The way he shifted the ball so quickly and struck it brilliantly well. Yeah. A couple great goals on the weekend from our Canadian players. Promise David as well.
The promise goal. If you haven't seen this.
My God.
Jesus.
The referee, the official did very well because there was about 6 fouls.
It was.
Just kept playing on, and he's just out muscling everybody. It was pretty impressive, wasn't it?
Is that got to be one, Craig, where the referee afterwards just gives himself a pat on the back and celebrates? Because I played the advantage. I played the advantage.
And played like 6
paid
advantages.
Off. Did you see
grabbed
it
her by the shoulder, grabbed her by the shirt, grabbed her by the shorts.
So he's breaking from inside his own half, and the guy has got hold of his shirt. He's dragging him like a parachute.
Right.
It's been stretched. And then another guy comes in, almost takes him down. He breaks and he scores a goal. It's such strength and power. But beyond that, he didn't go to ground, which I just love more than anything.
Yeah.
I mean, he's such a specimen. I mentioned it last week, right? I interviewed Promise and or Toby, as they call him. And he sits there and he's just a man mountain. He's 6'3", but he looks bigger than that because he's just solid. He's got these tree trunks of legs. And he's just like, wow, I feel so insignificant beside him. I'm pathetic. It's one of those situations. So
Like you in the locker room. It's like you in the locker room when you were 14, right?
Would never go in the
when
locker
you got
room
in the
with him.
showers.
Yeah.
Well, I
With
wasn't
his
looking.
towel around his waist still.
Yeah. Remember being in the high school sports and the
Don't look
idiots
at
in the
me.
shower with their underwear on still? Like they wouldn't.
That
take
would
their
be
underwear off.
odd.
Did you ever get? It's
Yeah.
really odd. Yeah.
Yeah. I made sure mine were see-through.
Mm.
The white ones. Underoos.
But yeah, so he's so strong though and so powerful, and what a great goal that was. His 17th of the season. I mean, he's really didn't get any minutes. That's going to be a big summer for him. I would think him and Jefferson will get some significant minutes this summer, whether it's in the Gold Cup or the Four Nation He Believes Cup, or both, hopefully.
Yeah.
Because Jimmy, I mean, that's a great opportunity for these guys who haven't really had minutes so far for Canada to kind of state their claim, because it's a good chance to give John David a rest, I think. Jimmy?
Yeah, I agree. I think it will be. It's going to be a great opportunity for players that haven't played much or looking to make an impact. This is their opportunity now, and I don't think Jonathan David will come back. He's got too much on his plate right now as well. Especially to see where he's going to end up going. I'm sure he wants the rest throughout the summer and then have a fresh start going into next season, wherever he may go. But for Jefferson and Promise David, this is going to be a great opportunity for all of us to watch them and see how they play and can handle international football, because it is a difference. There's a big difference between club football and international. So I'm looking forward to seeing these two playing in this Gold Cup.
Well, not to mention the fact that
several of them really that we'll get a look in, which is terrific. I am looking forward to this Gold Cup to see how these guys can do and what kind of promise they have.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Well, not to mention the fact that this is the last competitive window before the World Cup for these CONCACAF teams. So I know in the past there have been weakened squads, but it is a chance for a trophy. And you do wonder, maybe there will be stronger squads than usual. Certainly from Canada's perspective, but you're going to be missing Phonsie and maybe David. David might by then even be in the Club World Cup, because they are bringing that window earlier in the summer. So teams can sign players, I believe, in that 1 week window prior to the Club World Cup, as opposed to waiting to July the 1st. So say John David moves to a Club World Cup team, I think it can happen earlier. So who knows? He could end up playing this summer anyway.
Interesting.
Very interesting. So Kone scored. Promise Davis scored. Tani Oluwase had a couple of goals too for Minnesota. So they beat Real Salt Lake. Junior Hoylett scored a beauty for Hibs, very similar to Kone's goal. So yeah, a really good weekend for Canadian players. Jimmy, you were at TFC, Vancouver. How was that? Was that worth the visit, the journey down to BMO Field?
Well, I have to give some praise for the fans that weathered that storm. It was terrible. Icy rain. It was miserable. I mean, I was fortunate I was in a box. I could not imagine sitting outside during that. But I mean, look, for the match, I mean, look, it wasn't a great performance, was it? Vancouver, had majority of the play, had more shots, and obviously missing Ryan Golden, who's the big difference maker. But TFC, they had a bit of a game plan. They stuck with it. They got a point out of the match, but there was nothing that really stood out where you went, "Oh wow, look at them play now. Look at them get at it. Look at their patterns of play." And Insigne started and played 90 minutes. I mean, I don't even think he sweat. It was terrible watching him perform. But look, they got a point out of it. But I think Vancouver was a better side on the day.
What was the crowd like?
Saying 21,000.
Yeah,
Didn't look like it.
Yeah, around 21. But I mean, I was surprised how many people were actually in the stands, considering what the weather was like.
Yeah,
because it was miserable. I mean, terrible.
Mm.
And what it's like, Craig, playing in those in weather like that. It's horrible to get yourself going. You're frozen, the rain. Oh, it's a nightmare.
I've had this question teed up for 2 weeks now after watching a Fubo highlight pack, and it was Fulham versus, I forget who it was, sorry. But basically in the highlight pack, they're like 6-minute, 7-minute highlight packs, and it went straight to the 44th minute. Like there was nothing that happened in the first 44 minutes to get you a highlight. Like it was 45th minute
highlight pack or the 3-minute highlight pack?
It was the 7-minute.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I've been waiting to ask this question, and I wanted Dubs to be here, but she's not. But when you guys are playing a boring game, like a boring game, do you know you're playing a boring game, Jimmy, Craig? Do you know you're sitting there boring the shit out of everybody? Like, I'm just wondering.
It's a great question.
That's
it is a good question. I got no problem with boring.
No, I know, but do you know you're in a boring game? Like, are you going, oh, those fucking fans, I feel worse for them than I do for myself with my nipples chafing, and like you're in a shitty mode and they're even in a worse mode, and it's a boring game to watch, it's a boring game to be part of, or do you know that you're in that boring game?
Yeah, if it's a shit game or not. Yeah.
Of course you do, and you're going to get them. It's just kind of where both teams kind of cancel each other out. There's no rhythm in the game, no tempo.
Yeah.
And then the good games, I mean, obviously when it's back and forth and plenty of opportunities and goals, then it's exciting match for the fans. But
well, I'm going to poll you right now,
games
Jimmy.
like that on the weekend with the weather was terrible. You just get through.
I'm going to poll you and Craig. Have you played more boring games than you have fun games? Like probably. Exciting games.
Probably. I tell you, the 80s was an attractive football. Early 90s, not attractive football.
Yeah.
It's very direct.
Though, when you're playing against a great team and it's a boring match, you must feel really good, though, I would imagine.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, it's like 0-0, you're playing against United. And it's like, wow. This is terrible. This is amazing.
I would take a boring game as opposed to that.
Yeah.
As a fan, you do too, right?
Exciting 9-0.
Yeah.
Will United get bored, though, by the end of that one? Like, oh, Christ. Another goal.
Yeah, embarrassed a little bit. I feel bad for Craig Forrest over there. I don't want to score on him again.
Yeah. I have sympathy for United in that day.
Yeah, right.
Sympathy they felt for Craig Forrest. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Can't do this again. Boring football. There's plenty of boring football, though. You mentioned twice, though, in a week that Insigne just kind of going through the motions, Jimmy, out there. At what point does Robin Fraser have to drop him?
Again?
Yeah. Again.
Yeah. Well, you want to see if he's going to be, productive. And he wasn't, not even a shot in goal. And you think for a player like him, I mean, he should be creating opportunities. He should be at least having some shots on target. I mean, did you guys watch the game?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Sharman?
I barely saw him.
You wouldn't even know that he was playing.
There's a one in the second half. There's a free kick, and both he and Berner were over the ball. And I thought, this should be exciting. If you told me 3 years ago, Bernardeschi and Insigne standing over a ball for a free kick outside the box, I'm like, yeah, this is what it's all about. This is proper. This is great. And there was zero excitement. And in the end, actually, it was a nicely worked free kick. Bernardeschi took it, stuck it into the back post, and they almost scored. It was a well-played one from the training ground, so to speak. But I just felt a little sad, just as a football fan, and for those TFC fans, like this was what it was meant to be, these kind of moments, and it's like, damp squib.
Yeah, I mean, when they both came into the club, everybody was pretty excited about it. But Insigne, I don't know what are they going to do with this guy?
Yeah.
They leave him out. They put him in. They try to put him in the shop window. That's not working. I don't know.
Although it did work, right? I mean, there were clubs interested. I don't know what the offers were, and he turned them down, reportedly. He didn't want to go. Now, again, I don't know what the deal was. He wants to get his money, right? And you understand that. You signed the deal. but something's got to give at this point. I mean, wouldn't you rather see a Theo Cobiano or someone out there, Jimmy, a younger player who's going to be here for a while, rather than some guy that's just going through the motions, who they're trying to engineer a move for? I mean, that's not healthy for a club, surely.
No, you just want to see players go out to put that jersey on and work, at least put a shift in.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what the fans want. I think they would take work rate over talent any day right now.
Yeah, is he not running around trying to make tackles, win the ball back, anything? Nothing, eh?
No.
Brutal. Tell you what,
But it was a
more
point.
effort in for 1/15 of what he makes. I'll get
It was a
shot
point,
on
though,
goal.
right? It was a point earned, right? And they haven't had many this season.
A point earned.
Yeah.
No, I would
2
say
points.
that's 2 points dropped
2
for
points
Toronto
this season.
SC.
No, I look at it that way. That's how Vancouver look at it, I'm sure. 2 points dropped,
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
for sure.
They came in high flying, but and most of their guys came back, right? Most of their players who were off. It's just Gald that's not playing, but Ryan White was back.
There's some injuries.
Ali Ahmed.
Mhm.
back.
Yeah, they had some injuries, though. They weren't full strength.
Hmm.
I mean,
See what's going on at CF Montreal?
yeah.
The supporters clubs are like, hey, we've had enough. We want something done. And I don't know how that's going to resound, because Bologna's and CF Montreal's owner, Joey Saputo, doesn't seem like he listens to many people, or has to. Right?
Wasn't he on some interview last week, wasn't he? In
Yeah,
Italian.
he was. Yeah.
And he kind of, I'm not sure whether he called out the fans. He did something. What was it?
It was a word salad in Italian. It was he just mumbled around and danced around and didn't really make any sense.
Right. Wasn't it something like, people need to appreciate the work we're putting in here, or something like that? It's
Yeah.
like, piss off. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
And he touched on the league and where Montreal is at this moment in time. Is it very, very strange?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they fire Laurent Couture, win the start of the season. Different scenario to TFC in that Montreal just fire coaches for fun anyway. That's what they do. Whereas TFC bring in Robin Fraser, Jimmy, in this really weird situation, a very difficult time for the club for obvious reasons. But they are winless. Bottom line is they are winless after, is it 6 games?
6 games, yeah.
6 games. Yeah. Is there pressure on Robin Fraser? Could anyone do a better job at this point? I mean, it's a difficult one to gauge.
Yeah, it is difficult. I mean, look, he's inherited that squad. There's players that are locked into contract. They're having trouble moving players. It's probably frustrating for him, because ideally, I'd imagine he'd want to move a few players on, bring some of his own players in, and really get to work and be productive. But I think you feel for him, because you know what he's going through. Right? He's got this squad. They're not performing, not creating chances. And it must be frustrating for him. Is he under pressure? No, I don't think so right now. I think everybody realizes the situation.
On the bright side, they're playing into Miami this Sunday.
Yeah.
Right? It's, this could...
Over under on that one. 3, 4?
I don't see a win, put it that way.
Yeah.
Right?
If Miami don't
Let's-
score 3, they'd be disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see their upcoming schedule, when they might win the next game. So after Miami, it's Minnesota, decent team.
Yeah.
In the West. Then they play Real Salt Lake. Where's they're like lower half in the West. Not a great team. Potentially there could be something there, maybe.
Trying to find their first win here.
New York City FC, April 26th. Oh God.
It's May. It's going to be CF Montreal versus TFC. That's going to be their closest opportunity.
Yeah,
you know what? That's Canadian Championship, right?
No, I think that's just the first time they're playing in the season. I think it's
Canadian Championship.
Oh, Canadian Championship, April 30th. Right.
Yeah.
It's hard to find their first win, though, isn't it, Sharm?
Yeah, it is. And I mean, at some point, and again, this is so unfair on any coach, right? Because you have the players you have, and they just haven't been able to make any kind of inroads in the transfer market to really change this dynamic. They just haven't been able to. Probably know why. But at some point, you can't. How long can you go without a win before the coach is the scapegoat? What's the number? Is there a number?
12 or 13.
You think that's what it is?
12, 13.
When listen, 12 or 13.
That's a third into the season. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, in the bright side, they're not being blown away. They were better defensively against Vancouver, I think. Are we seeing progress here, Jimmy? Somehow?
I don't know, Sharms. I don't know what to say anymore.
A clean sheet's a good start, right?
Yeah,
You'll
it
take
is.
that. You'll take
They
that.
play Miami. It's in Miami on Sunday.
And it'd be like, let's build off of that.
Yeah, take the positives.
Yeah.
We're going to build off the 0-0 and see how we go.
Well, I'm following the TFC Insta, and I'm always like, how are they going to frame this one? So losing, and they're pretty positive, these social media people. So
That's a job, isn't it?
That's a job.
Frame this club positively week in and week out.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a mess.